What was important was quality, whether I'm enjoying or not. It's a very different way of being. Luxury one has because one's belly is full. I can very comfortably say that my belly was absolutely full. I wanted to fill up the bellies of others.
This is episode 8 of Dream 100 Show with Miss Belaa Shanghvi. Welcome to the Dream 100 Show listeners. I am your host Savita Hosamane.
And I'm your co host, Gunjan.
Each week, we interview today's most successful and inspiring business owners with winning teams
Who had the courage to chase their dreams in spite of all the challenges.
Join us as we bring you everything that goes on in the minds of successful business owners during decision making process.
And gain insights to make smarter decisions.
In today's episode, we talk to Ms. Belaa Shanghvi, who is the director of Navanidhi Designs Private Limited. She is on a mission to ensure handloom, handicraft, and khadi are given industry status in India. She has dedicatedly put in 40 years in reviving the complete traditional art of Indian heritage. She is passionately striving to improve per piece earning and lifestyle of weavers and craftsmen. In this podcast, she talks about her adventures with classic Indian design technologies on fabrics like Ashavat, Patola, Chanderi, Paitani, and many more, which has been showcased to the world and created a niche market. She works towards protecting the rich skill heritage with her business re engineering and innovation techniques for all handloom, handicraft, and khadi sector. So let's get set to hear it out from her right here, right now. So, welcome to the Dream 100 show, Mrs. Belaa Shanghvi. It's truly an honor and pleasure to have you here.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, now let's get started. How would you describe yourself as a person? Who is Belaa Shanghvi?
Belaa Shanghvi is somebody who cares deeply for others and the handloom, handicrafts, and khadi sector. Not only develop their skills, but train them in the right direction so that their per piece earnings get better. And I do believe myself as a protector of skill heritage. That is something which is very, very important to me. That the skills, if their skills are there, can do lot many things. Nowadays, because of other ways of being, a lot of skills are getting lost. So I do consider myself as a protector of skills.
What instigated you to take up the role of protecting the skills? Where did you see this, and what was the inspiration for you that made you drive towards taking up such an beautiful task?
I was living at that time in USA. After completing, I gave up my job and I wanted to see America. So I was with my parents. I was traveling all over America. At that time in Washington, D.C., there was a collection of Mughal textiles. I am coming from a family, we manufacture textile machineries. The weaving has been part of almost like my blood. When I saw that, I got fascinated that how they have manufactured it, because I had not seen something like that in India, done with handloom and handicrafts. Very beautiful. I wanted some of the fabric. That's how the journey of Ashawal started. Ashawal was something which was very rare at that time. Even now it is rare, but at that time, there's only literally 1.5 weaver left. And I started researching and I couldn't find anybody who was working with Ashawal. It was very interesting. For 2 years, I just researched on Ashawal. And after that, I realized that there were hardly any. I couldn't find the weavers to weave ashawal because it's a highly specialized technology. I almost gave up. Fate intervened. I got connected to those weavers who were practicing ashawal. So that is how my journey started. I started working with them and I realized that this was something which was giving me a lot of satisfaction. And also, I feel that I am dyslexic basically. So, what happens is I need a lot of stimulation of a different kind every day. So, today, I mean, a lot of people have their routines. I am too fidgety for a routine. I needed that stimulation. And with Ashafal, I realized that that was something which I was getting. Every day there was a new problem. Every day
Mhm.
there was something new happening. It was very interesting for me. And while I was working, I was getting bored with Ashafal because what was happening was the uh, weavers were weaving,
Mhm.
but I was getting bored with the Ashafal because the weavers were weaving, and while they were weaving, what do I do? Nothing for me to do at that particular time. I started looking for other things. And that is when I came in touch with the Patola weavers.
Mhm.
And that's how my journey with Patola started.
All right.
So it was just, I think the fate has had a lot to do with all this for me. Things worked out in a very different way for me. At that particular time, I realized that this was my passion and this is
Mhm.
what I wanted to do.
Your parents did not have any objection to you taking up this field because this, I'm sure, wouldn't have been such a lucrative field during those
Ah,
days.
yeah. The whole point for me was not about earning because I mean they didn't expect me to earn.
Okay.
Like all the Gujarati people, they want the daughter to get married and they don't want the daughter to work or something. So if I didn't earn, it was
Hmm.
not a problem for them. The
All right.
problem was that I was going in the remote areas
Hmm.
and that was something which was not conducive to them. At the same time, my mom started accompanying me. So what
Wow.
happened? Yeah, because she felt that I'm too, and I was. It's not that she just felt, but I was too naive to work with them. And it was. I had just came fresh from USA with naive ideas, with naive thinking also. She was very protective of me. And she started coming with me. And I realized that I needed that support. And she helped me tremendously to set it up properly.
Wow.
And that's how the whole thing started for me.
Awesome.
And my idea of business was very different than hers. And that needed to be kind of my ideas needed to change in certain way so that
Hmm.
there is realism there. Whereas she was very practical and she was a businesswoman herself.
Wow.
So
Hmm.
she was the one who founded my father's, I mean, not founded, but help him kind of settle the business.
Co-founder, we can say.
Yeah, co-founder, definitely.
Mhm.
So it was very interesting that she helped me out and in such a way that I could set up. That was the main situation with me, that I needed support in
Mhm.
setting up and monetizing the whole thing.
Hmm.
But she would always remain in the background and let me develop it myself, which was
Awesome.
a very generous situation.
So you were the only child for your parents, or you had siblings
I
as well?
have I have a brother and
Mm-hmm.
who is handling my father's business just now.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's a family business, so the whole family is looking after that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was such a for me, this was necessary
Mhm.
because I was a very protected child. So for me
Okay.
to learn these things was necessary.
Mhm.
And I do
So
feel that this helped me grow myself also.
awesome. Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah. So, like now, before entering into business and all of that, did you work anywhere?
you know what, working for father's businesses, right? So
Mhm.
I was working with them, and it was just that it was more of a, because I'm my father's daughter, rather than working outside, I was working with him.
So
So it
you
was
had.
not working, but yes, it was more or less supporting the family business.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
And so, when you initially started the business, what were a few challenges that you faced?
I was too naive. Uh, and to understand business, one needed some practical understanding of business, which I
Mm.
didn't have. And slowly, my mother helped me develop that. That was something which was very nice. That without her, I could not have done it on my own. Obviously, my family's support was also there. Freshly out of the school from US.
Mhm.
So at that particular time, it was like my attitude was, oh, I know it all. You don't need to help me. It was,
Mhm.
how young
Mhm. Mhm.
attitudes are.
Mhm.
So, and I had that. So it was not, I would not pretend that I didn't have that. It's just that slowly, my family supported me to understand what it would be to become an entrepreneur.
Wow.
And I think the whole family, including my extended family, they all
Mhm.
supported in this. They helped me grow. That was very nice.
Okay, so that means to say all your formal education in business happened through the family way itself. They
Yes,
guided
yes,
you.
yes. I can very comfortably say that.
Did you have challenges of investment in the business?
Actually, no, because the family was there. Asked my father to loan me about 1 lakh rupee, and I was so naive that I told him that within 1 year I will repay you with interest.
Okay.
And I actually, God was kind to me that I
Mhm.
actually did.
Wow. Mhm.
Yeah, and the opportunities came in such a way
Mhm.
that I was able to do that. So I was many a times at the right place at the right time. A lot of people struggle to be there.
Mhm.
God has been so supportive. I was there at the right time at the right place, and had the tube light to take up those challenges.
So when you started your business and you started expanding, how would you manage between this balancing the creative aspect as well and balancing?
No. Hello. I
Mhm.
never thought of all these things.
Oh.
I just, it
Mhm.
was not important. Increase the business. What was important was quality. What was
Okay.
important was whether I'm enjoying or not. It's a very different way of being. This
Absolutely.
luxury one has because one's belly
Mm.
is full. I can very comfortably say that my belly was absolutely full, and I
Hmm.
wanted to fill up the bellies of others.
So you had a different purpose altogether. Usually, when
Hmm.
people start a business, their purpose is different. But your
Yes.
purpose was to bring a meaning as well as to bring about a profit in the lives of others rather
Yes.
than your own self, right?
See, that's what it was, not a very conscious decision, but that's how it worked out.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That
Hmm.
when you are working with passion,
Hmm.
it's not about how much you are earning, how much will I
Correct.
get out of this.
Hmm.
It was more about oh, this is not right. I want to make this right. I want to, when the revival process was happening and is happening just now also, uh, every day we have to evaluate whether we are going in the right direction or not. That was something which was exciting me the most.
Okay. So, how do you evaluate whether you are in the right direction or not?
That is something which works out as you grow, I think. The vision, see, when I started, there was only 1.5 weaver with whom I was working. One was a helper to the weaver and one was the weaver. So the challenges were different. The challenges were of technology, the challenges were of dyeing, the challenges of having the right yarn. All those were the simple challenges. But as you grow in numbers, the challenges shifts. So one needs to shift along with that. And with my nature of wanting some new challenges every day, it worked out perfect for me.
Awesome. So, how do you bring in variety in your work every day?
I don't bring, the work itself is such that it comes automatically. Say, for example, today the challenge in the morning, we are working on a new collection in, say, Patola just now, with utilizing the mathematical calculations and complex mathematical calculations. Now, Patola has odd numbers, not the even numbers of sections. So when one has odd numbers of sections, the challenges of fitting a design into those odd numbers is extremely different than when you have even numbers of calculations. So now today the challenge is this. Once I have finished my challenge today, I have set the design in that odd number. So tomorrow the challenge is going to be about how to implement the design onto the actual calculation on the yarn. And a day after tomorrow, after I digest it for the karigar, to communicate that to the karigar, that this is what I want. So every day there are different challenges, different way of being. So it is not the nature of work itself is such that every day is a new day, and it's fun. It's fun for me. For others, it can be daunting because they are used to having a routine 9 to 5 job.
Correct.
My nature is such that I can't do 9 to 5 jobs because I will get bored so easily that within 1 hour I will say this is not for me. And I've tried many things and I was not able to stick to it only because I was getting bored. I would excel in it and I'll give up. Ranging from my father's business to a restaurant to Schnell Imbiss to having a small embroidery unit of myself. I still do have, but at the same time I got bored because this is not, the routine is not for me. And because I know who I am, I'm able to pick and choose what should be done by me. Others will have a very different viewpoint of even revival process. They will put it in a routine, whereas I don't like that. I like to customize. I like to make sure that every piece that I create is not a repeat of the next piece.
Wow.
So the creativity is constantly, addressed. And to me, that part is very interesting. That every day brings a new, not only the design challenge, the technological challenge, the communication challenge. That is what makes me interested. I started with one technology. Today, I have worked with 53 handloom techniques.
Wow.
43 handcrafted techniques, and 4 khadi techniques.
Mm-hmm.
So with all that, the challenges are very, very interesting. I find it stimulating.
Awesome. So you mean to say that if somebody wants to continue this kind of work, then they should be somebody as creative as you.
Not
Because,
necessary. No, 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 no. See, a lot of people in the revival area now,
hmm,
they are working with one technology, and there's nothing wrong with that,
hmm,
because they are constantly going deeper and deeper and deeper into it.
hmm,
For me, going deeper comes very easy. So I go deeper,
hmm,
understand the situation, prove the situation, and get out of it fast. I find the solution very easily. So for me, the challenge is to keep me interested in that. I have to find, say, for example, Patola. I've been working since last 41 years in
hmm,
Patola. Even today, when I'm working with the challenges of Patola, I find every day I
hmm,
find new challenges. And I actually convinced a client I want to work with mathematical calculations. Those calculations, I want to create a Patola. I actually gave myself a challenge. Lot of people don't do that. Lot of people feel कि अरे ये चल रहा है ना, चलने दो. उसको
hmm,
रिपीट करने में, उसको मास्टरी करने में, वो
hmm, hmm,
मास्टर मेरे लिए तुरंत I'm able to master it immediately. So what happens is then I have to find myself a different challenge. So
hmm.
I keep on inventing these challenges.
So, what would you say are your personal values?
Personal values. Find something new to do every day and challenging myself. So challenging myself constantly is very, very important to me.
Mhm. And what would you say are like a few business values of yours?
Be true to yourself. Say for example, I'm also working on पैठनीज. बनारस की डिजाइन पैठनी में लेके आइए, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. But
Hmm,
they don't understand the nuances of each technology. I have dig so deep into it. I've been
hmm,
working on पैठनीज since last 35 years. So I understand what is the locking system, what are the design mistakes people are making. Say,
hmm,
for example, Banaras technology is very different.
hmm,
And the curvature in Banaras technology is extremely easy. And the
hmm,
locking system in Banaras technology is different, extremely
hmm,
different. Whereas
hmm,
Paithani is a tapestry weave. All these nuances to find the balance of each and every textile,
hmm,
it's different. It's not the same as people think that वो textile है तो same ही होगा.
hmm,
No, it's
hmm,
the technology to manufacture. There are almost like 385 different techniques in
hmm,
India which have been identified.
hmm,
Each technology has a way of being, has
hmm,
a way of expression. It's like a chess game that you have to customize to
hmm,
that particular technology. When I'm working with Python,
hmm,
my thought process will not allow me to think about Banarasi, think about Ashawal,
hmm,
or
hmm,
think about Patola. When I'm working with Python, the weave itself is very, very different from all the others. It's a
hmm,
tapestry weave. So when I'm working with a tapestry weave, I have to
hmm,
go into the mindset of tapestry weave. When I know, I mean, lot of confusion is there in the weaver's mind. But the design, what you call basic principle of design, horizontal is the strongest, vertical is the weaker one, and
hmm,
the weakest is the one with the diagonal. I mean, these are basic design principles. I'm not even talking about rocket science here, or I have invented these principles or something like that. Follow the balance of Pythony. Actually, the traditional Pythonies which are surviving, if at all curvatures are used, one
hmm,
has to study how the curvatures are used and create something which will allow one to not stack up the knots vertically
hmm,
or
hmm,
diagonally, but to stack up the knots horizontally. Now, these finer points, most of the designers will not understand. Hence, number of years the textile will last is way less. So one has to go through such depth, understand in detail, and then use the creativity. So
Great.
when you are true to yourself, you recognize that no, I can't take one technology to the other. I have to be making sure that I stick with whatever I have, not let other thought processes sink into it. So straight thinking, clear thinking, truthful thinking is what you need when I believe that when you want to be successful.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So, along with those qualities, what are few others that you think a winning team or business should have, or one few that yours has?
Trust of the Karigar. I speak the technologically same language as them. Initially, when I enter into an area, I don't show the knowledge that I have. I listen to them. I listen to their problems. I listen to what they are facing. And initially, they are also not serious about talking to me. Slowly, while interacting with each other, we develop a trust with each other. And that trust cannot be violated in any way from either side. To me, that's the most valuable earning my work life. They understand that this is more about their game than my game. So when you have that trust, then they will do as you suggest.
Okay.
When they know that you are protecting their interest, ensure the qualitative interest of the project.
So that means this karigars are highly skilled people.
If they are not, I train them to be highly skilled.
Oh, okay. You start even that kind of coaching. You take people and then you train them, you coach
Yes,
them,
yes,
and you
yes.
build their
But
skills as well.
yes, but they should know the basic weaving. I'm not going to be investing my time into basic weaving. If they're practicing, say, for example, chanderi, they should know how to weave a chanderi. And then I can take them forward. But if they're raw in weaving itself, I'm not relevant over there.
But in this process, when you are coaching somebody, and there will be room for a lot of mistakes, right? So how do
Of
you
course,
handle those mistakes? Do those mistakes prove to be very costly time?
many a times it does. It's part of the growing up process. And it will happen that you will fail. And there are many costly mistakes also which will happen. In Patola, when you are working, yarn itself is almost like 30,000-40,000 rupees a kilo. So you can understand that when that yarn is wasted, every Patola will utilize almost a kilo of yarn.
Oh.
Now, when that gets spoiled, it is part of the process of development. Once the design is developed, then it is easier to copy. Hence, you will see a lot of people copying us.
Oh.
That is part of the process. I don't get scared of loss. I get scared of not working constantly on new things, because I do believe that our history has been extremely rich in textile traditions. But what is our generation's contribution? Each generation has brought in something or the other with their skill sets.
Correct.
Now, since last at least 30-40 years, we have stopped growing. So that is something which is scary than making mistakes. So it's a lot costlier when you don't make a mistake. And I do believe that in any growing possibilities, mistakes are stepping stones. I don't think we should be scared of making mistakes. What happens is when people make mistakes, tamed into saying that you made a mistake. I celebrate their mistakes.
Wow.
And I make sure that they learn the lessons out of it. Where did you go wrong in that? When they recognize that I am not, scared of them making mistakes, or I'm not going to blame them into making mistakes, they are willing to take risks. The other day, I challenged somebody about 2-3 weeks back. I want a blue colored gharchola. Now, every karigar's reply was, if it doesn't come out good, we don't want to take a chance. Whereas there was one karigar who said, don't worry, we'll dye it blue. We will see what happens. And it has come out so wonderful that the client is happy, but much more than that, I'm very happy that he is willing to take that risk of making a mistake. And I told them, don't worry. Once he agreed, I said, don't worry. I will still buy even if it is a mediocre piece. I will use it in a different way. I will not give it to the client and I will use it in a different way. So that gave him the confidence also. But he also had that confidence that no, it will come out well. So this kind of trust is very, very necessary with each other.
So you have an in-house team or you even outsource your work?
I get the job work done. In-house team is also there, but I like to work with different karigars and bring them up in their skill sets. So I can very comfortably say that we have touched the life of more than 20,000 weavers.
Wow.
Weavers, handcrafted and spinners.
Pan-India, is it?
Pan-India.
So, but Pan-India, isn't communication language a problem for you?
Never. Because I talk technical language. I don't talk the local language. Say, for example, Marathi, I can speak. But other languages, I have a translator. But when, when you're talking with them, when you are talking about technology, it's more about hand gestures. It's more about, it's a block. The communication is not challenge because there are ways of communicating other ways also. And if everything else fails, then there is a translator also. So these hurdles are normal. These hurdles are not so phenomenal that one can't go beyond. Say, for example, in Northeast, I don't talk any of the Northeastern languages. But at the same time, I had a wonderful time working with them because I show exactly what I want. So, in fact, language sometimes comes in the way of communication many times for us. When you have a drawing or when you have an actual sample, then there is no doubt in their mind. So we create the samples together and we create the understanding of each other also while working together.
So you mean to say first the design is brought out on paper and
first we evaluate the skill sets.
Oh, okay.
First we evaluate the skill sets, what they are capable of today. So in the initial stages, we don't challenge their skill sets.
Okay.
Say, for example, in Mizoram, their main skill set was about cutting bamboos. They are fantastic in cutting bamboos. I didn't challenge their weaving skills at all at that particular point. Cutting bamboos? We'll cut bamboos this way. And we'll create products out of this. So it's a very organic process. And then slowly, we take them forward into utilizing their skill sets in such a way that they are the best in their skill sets. Rather than constantly asking them to improve and change like that, wherever they are, they should be comfortable.
Okay.
If they are comfortable, their creativity will come out.
Very true.
If they are not comfortable and they're constantly challenging themselves, then it's not going to help them constantly, prodding them to do better.
So that means that you provide a platform for them to express themselves to their best.
It's like guiding them to express themselves to the best, because many a times they have been told before I enter, they've been told that they have to make themselves better.
Oh,
we have to really clean up their mindsets or the cobwebs first of their mind, and then we will start working with the skills.
So how do you reach out to various the kinds of artisans around the country?
I don't reach out. They reach out to me and they tell me that
Mhm.
they want they want to improve in their business. Now,
Okay.
when they want to improve in their business, I reach out,
Hmm.
then they perceive it as my need. I don't have any needs to work with them. I don't want anything from them. So when they reach out to me, mentally they are ready to make the changes.
Okay.
The minute
Okay.
they are challenged with their personal challenges, they
Hmm.
are ready to listen. That is when I
Hmm.
am most effective. If they
Awesome.
believe that, oh, they are very good, then I'm not effective.
So
They,
once they come to you, what is the process from there?
no, there's no one single
Hmm.
process. It's customized process where they are. Depending on that,
Hmm.
we have to work towards that. It's customization is the key word. Say, for example, each solution customized to the problem. Just
Hmm.
because certain things are working in Banaras, the same things will be working in Paithani. The
Got
Paithani challenges are
different.
different
Hmm.
and the solutions are also going to be different.
Hmm.
So one has to find out what is the genuine issue, then find a solution from there, working
Hmm.
towards revival process rather than just going with a formula. Okay, the
Hmm.
technology will work on the design, we'll work on the
Hmm.
market. No, it's not like that at all.
Hmm.
I do believe that because I provide
Hmm.
customized solutions, I'm more successful than others.
Wow. Once the skill set is ready and the product is ready, do you also help them in marketing, or they
Yes,
take
yes.
care of you do the marketing as well?
Either way, I don't mind. If they
Mm-hmm.
want to take care of it themselves, and if
Mm-hmm.
they're capable of taking care of it themselves, then I don't get involved. But if they
So,
need support in that, if
hmm.
that is part of the solution. Say, for example, many a times those challenges are also part of a solution. Now, to if I want them to get inspired into finding their own markets at that particular point, I don't get involved.
Okay.
But if they have the solution for themselves, they don't need me. And I appreciate that much more that they don't need me. Because when they need you, it's more about ego than anything
Hmm.
else. And I think over the years, I have kind of taken care of my ego issues. So I can comfortably say that, those are not the challenges that I'm working on. It's working on its own.
Great. The more tougher the challenge, the greater the satisfaction is. So, any one particular or few instances where you felt that it was very tough and you were able to derive the utmost satisfaction?
Many a times it has happened that when we started, it looked very difficult and impossible that we'll be able to complete. If I get bored, to sustain myself in that is very challenging for me. There are times, say for example, in Ashawal, because I was new, I wanted to give it up. That bus ho gaya. This is
Hmm.
not my cup of tea that I am constantly challenging myself without any gains with me. But I do believe that because I stuck to it, I enjoy myself even today. I do feel that that's necessary to have perseverance.
Hmm.
And that value, I think developing that value itself was very satisfying. Realize that that is more important. The actual success. It was good.
Awesome.
It was
Hmm.
very good.
What was the best advice that you have received in this journey?
Have patience, which I
Mhm.
don't have. I think the best contribution that my mom could have given me, sense of generosity. That is very necessary. I do believe.
So, like, what advice would you give to someone who is just starting a business now or to the coming generation?
Be generous with the other resources. When we are starting out, one is
Hmm.
always, I'm talking about myself, because I had only 1 lakh of rupees to play with.
Hmm.
I realized that how stingy I could be with resources. That stinginess
Hmm.
costed me much more than actual spending. Realize that what is, squandering money or squandering resources is not what I'm talking about. Actually, be generous with your time or with your support or with money. 10% generosity is something which can be afforded if it is going to be changing the life of
Hmm.
people. That be generous, give them what they want, and then they will give you what you want.
Wow. Hmm.
In the initial stages, people are like hard taskmasters, that 10 rupees means 10 rupees only.
So, who was your inspiration in this whole journey?
Mrs. Pupul Jaikar. I mean, obviously my mom, and Gautam Bhai Waghela, who was then director of the Weavers Service Center, whose hand I was kept for
Hmm.
learning the nuances of handloom, handicrafts, and khadi. And
Hmm.
Gautam Bhai was perfectly chosen for my fit, because he understood where I was coming from. He understood my mental
Hmm.
challenges more than any other challenges. And I needed new things every day. I needed to understand more. I was hungry for more. He satisfied that hunger for more.
Wow.
And that was, I would be very grateful to such people who have really helped me to come to this place today. The depth of understanding which they have given me. They have not given me the solutions on a platter. They challenged me so that I understood the whole process. She inspired me to think. Otherwise, I had set processes that,
Hmm.
oh, I'm doing technology, so the
Hmm.
technology has to be this. She opened my mind to thinking that there are no rights and the wrongs. What is working for the textile industry, the right thing that works. And I would very comfortably say, it's Pupul Jaikar.
Awesome. So, what is your vision for this business? What do you think? How do you see this business taking off in the coming years?
I do believe that the time has come, because of information sharing is fantastic. So I'm extremely positive about the handloom, handicrafts, and khadi sector, because in our situations, we have so much of handloom, handicrafts, and khadi that
Hmm.
we don't value it. So I do believe that people are in the world are hungry for handmade things, sustainable things, eco-friendly things, slow fashion.
Hmm.
All this is already here in this industry. So it's a right time to strike gold.
Wow.
So we are working towards that. The only issue over here is going to be utilizing the right skill sets for the right products. That match has to be perfect. Then we have winning products for the whole world.
Wow.
India has the largest numbers of people, variety of skill sets. India is a world leader in this sector already.
Hmm.
And people are copying India left, right, and center. So we should be then taking advantage. Unfortunately, we are not learning how to take advantage of where we are. And we are showing all this to the whole world that, hello, copy us like this.
Oh.
I do feel that we are squandering these resources. I'm not saying close ourselves down, at the same time, protect ourselves. There is a balance which needs to be found. But if it is found, there is a huge potential right here.
Wow. So, what are the qualities which you admire about yourself?
About myself, that I want something new every day. Whatever people think of it as a disadvantage, I think this is my USP.
Wow.
And this is what pushes me to go forward.
What's the best compliment that you've ever received?
When the fourth generation girl came to me and said that I want my wedding garments designed by you.
Wow.
Wow.
Best compliment.
That's nice.
First, second, third, and now the fourth generation is coming to me. To me, that's very precious. I have been able to maintain that, not the Karigar's trust only, but also the trust of the consumer.
Awesome. What are the funny things which you have encountered? Any one funny incident in your
A lot
business?
of funny incidences. There was a very good client of mine. It's a sad and funny together. It's not something which is all, the whole thing is funny. For the first time, we had opened the key. New design in Patola. Full executed Patola was ready. I was supposed to have a meeting at VNA, Victoria Albert Museum in London, and I wanted to show them that piece. Amazing client of mine walks up and says, "Belaa ji, aap manenge nahi. मेरे बेटे की शादी कंफर्म हो गई है. He got engaged. Show me something which is worthy of me giving her the first gift." Obviously, Patola for me was and also everything else was packed up for the London exhibition. So I didn't want to open out any of those things because it was, there was a strategy that we had used for London exhibition. I told her that I have a few pieces of Patola, which I always hand carry. I don't put in my luggage. So she said, "Show me." But I said, they're slightly more expensive because 3 years of my time and 5 years of the Karigar's time gone into that particular piece. I didn't want her to have it, but I still wanted to show it to her. So I quoted a much higher. Normally, I don't do that. Prices are standardized. That day, because of the presentation at VNA, I wanted to make sure that I didn't want her to have that piece because she wanted to gift it the very next week. I didn't have the choice of it and then giving it to her or something of that kind. So I quoted a very high price so that she would not buy that and she would buy something else. But it worked the other way. And she got so inspired that, oh, my daughter-in-law deserves the most expensive piece. So instead of choosing others, she chose that piece. Fortunately for me, it was well documented, but I didn't have a choice and she paid in full. Had to deliver it at that time itself. And my presentation went off well. They saw the photographs of what we had done in that piece also. All that went off very well. It was good. The meeting came out very well. That went. So after all that, I came back, and within a month's time, she came back again. Behind her was a driver carrying a packet. At that time, I was working from home. I didn't have a studio or I didn't have any formal place. So, that packet was taken by my assistant and I couldn't open it because until she said open it, we couldn't. "Belaa ji, aap manenge nahi maine kya kiya hai." Oh my God, she's done something to that piece. My heart started sinking and she said, "Don't worry, I've made it more beautiful." Again, it was like, oh God, what has she done? She opened the piece and I started crying. She had gone to some stupid designer in Delhi who didn't understand what Patola was. In order to increase the price, he just embroidered the whole piece altogether, covering the work of the craftsmen altogether. And she saw that I'm crying and she was quite upset what happened. And I didn't have the energy to explain her. That was the last piece I have ever sold to her. And every time she comes and says, "Belaa ji, abhi kya naya banaya hai?" I every time tell her that, oh, abhi to kuch banaya hi nahi hai naya. You know, she also knows that I'm avoiding her. At the same time, it was such a sad situation that she had an historical piece which she lost. She didn't even realize what kind of a loss that she had faced. That was a sad part, but it's now funny that when she comes to me and says ki naya kya banaya hai, I find that very funny that she thinks that I'm going to actually sell her something.
Mm.
Uh, I mean, I don't think she's taken the hint that I don't wish to sell her anything. But it was a very sad situation for me. Whatever that we had created out of so much of love, and she didn't even. It was not her fault. It was just that she didn't
Mm.
have enough knowledge about this to even realize what she had done. It was very interesting.
So, what is that one sentence which you tell yourself to move ahead? Sometimes the situations will be good, sometimes the situations might not be as good as you expected, but still, life is all about moving on. So, what do you tell yourself in such situations?
This too shall pass. Not just in negative situation, even in positive situation.
Awesome. Do you think having a sense of humor works in this industry as well?
In any situation in life, the humor is always helpful. And the more passion or the more emotionally involved one is, the more humor is necessary. When things are not emotionally charged, it's okay if you don't have humor. If you have emotionally charged situation, that is exactly when you need humor. And many a times I do lack. Little bit I'm able to make it lighter. Otherwise, I'm a Virgo. So for me, certain situations are extremely passionate about certain situations. What happens is I'm not able to diffuse my emotions that easily. And because of my wiring of my brain, humorous things don't come out. Afterwards, I'm able to see the humor in it.
Okay.
But when I'm in that, that's why I do feel that humor is necessary. And if at all I have saved myself is because of that 2% of humor that I have.
Wow. Awesome.
There are so many variables that unless you're constantly stimulated, you will one will give up on things. I think because of those variables, I'm more interested. I mean, these are the things where people give up. I get more involved because of these things. It's a different mindset, I would say, than
Correct.
others. And it has nothing to do with good or bad. It's
Correct.
just different.
I think there are only few persons who are designed this way who can understand this and take it to an entirely new level.
That I don't know about others, but I do believe that I am not a regular person. So my challenges are also not regular. Because of that, I do feel that I have to be conscious and sensitive to others. And that has been a journey for me.
Wow. To know the difference in itself is a huge achievement, I can say.
It's all because of my guru's grace, because of, I think, the amount of experiences that I've gone through has helped me understand with the guidance of my guru.
Who is your guru?
In profession, as I said, Pupulji, Mr. Charles Rossolini are in my profession. They are my guru. In my personal life, it's Sri Krishnananda Tirtha Swami, who's from the lineage of Totakacharya Shankaracharya.
Okay.
He is my guru.
Wow. You bring in the blend of spirituality as well in your creations, I'm sure.
I do try. I do try that everything is according to the person's personality. Also, there are basic norms, and those norms I adhere to. And it's not about Hindu norms. These are basic humanity norms. I do believe in Vastu Shastra. I do believe in Jyotish Shastra. I do believe in Feng Shui. And I do make sure that all this is incorporated in my design for the betterment of the wearer.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Many a times you feel very good and many a times, even if the dress is fantastic, you still don't feel like wearing it, or you feel uncomfortable in that dress.
True.
So there are reasons for it, which conscious mind might not be able to tell you. Unconsciously, those reasons are there. Add that dimension to my work.
Wow.
I'm
No.
writing a book on textile techniques of India, and
Wow.
another book that I'm writing is on patolas.
Wow.
Going on.
I would love to read it.
Looking forward. Looking forward to you reading it, and you're doing such a wonderful job in doing this podcast. I wish you all the success in the future of these podcasts that you do, because this is the future.
Thank
So
you.
all
Yeah,
the
it was
best.
great talking to you.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
so glad, Dikra. I'm so glad. I want your generation to get involved in textile, handloom, handicrafts, and khadi.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll
Like
take it
I want,
forward.
because you are the future, Dikra. All the best to both
Thank
of
you
you.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
I thank Ms. Belaa Shanghvi from the bottom of my heart for her valuable insights and taking out time for our podcast listeners. Here are my few takeaways from this lady who breathes creativity, innovation, and loves her craft from the core of her being. So the takeaways are: firstly, be true to yourself. Patience and perseverance with the team will build trust. Thirdly, celebrate mistakes so that people will be willing to take risks. Fourthly, creativity blossoms only when one is comfortable wherever they are. The last one, cleaning cobwebs of the mind will make one mentally ready for forthcoming changes.
Never lose out on an opportunity to learn from the life lessons of real time business owners on Dream 100 Show. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Dream 100 Show.
And now make a smart decision of taking the next step towards your dreams. We strongly believe that life is just a play, as
We win some, we lose some.
we miss some and we mess with some. So enjoy your journey and play it to the fullest.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Dream 100 Show and leave a review.
Share your biggest takeaways with us and follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. This is Savita
And Gunjan signing off. Catch you soon in our next episode.